So I'd like to thank everybody for taking some time out today, both the media and my brothers and sisters in the fire service. The reason we're here today is to get the word out about our Recruit New York open house weekend. This is the 16th year for Recruit New York. It's an initiative that's sponsored by the Firefighters Association of the State of New York. And it's geared to do two things. First and foremost, we encourage local volunteer fire departments to open their doors so that they can reconnect with their communities. Far too often, people know that the firehouse and the fire station is in a certain place, but they don't really fully realize that over 90% of the fire departments in the state are volunteers. So part of Recruit New York is to get the community to come in, understand who the people are that protect them, that respond to emergencies. And the second equally important reason is hopefully to get some new members, because unfortunately we have a crisis of membership in terms of volunteer firefighters in the state of New York. Just as sort of a point of reference, back in the early 2000s, there were about 120,000 volunteers across the state. We are down around 80,000 volunteer firefighters today. At the same time, these numbers are significantly declining. We have seen call counts go up in every department. We have seen the complexity of those calls increase. And we've been asked to expand the mission of the volunteer fire service far beyond our local communities. And by that I mean, if there's a snowstorm in Buffalo, you can probably count on departments like these represented here today to send crews out to help our brothers and sisters there, and vice versa. When there's a storm or a situation here in Albany or Long Island, they come from all over parts of the state. So we're being asked to do a lot more with a lot less manpower. Interestingly, the volunteer fire service saves New York taxpayers about $3.8 billion a year, just in salaries and benefits alone. Volunteer firefighters in New York State are not compensated. They give of their time and energy with no compensation. How that translates here in the Capital District is about $470 million each and every year are saved by the taxpayers because of the efforts of the men and women of the local volunteer fire departments. But as I said, we have a significant recruitment challenge in front of us. For a number of reasons, younger people are not volunteering for the fire service. FASNY did a number of focus groups several years back, and we discovered what we sort of had already known, but now we had some empirical data to back it up, is that the number one reason that people don't volunteer is because of the lack of time. So we've worked with departments around the state, we've worked with the Office of Fire Prevention and Control to try to accommodate the necessary training to become a volunteer firefighter into people's more hectic schedules. Again, Recruit New York is a good opportunity for people in the community to reconnect with their fire department, and for people who have even the slightest interest to go take a few moments at their local fire station and investigate what it takes to become a volunteer firefighter. I can tell you both from my own personal experience and from many women that I've talked to, that initial investment of a few minutes to go visit your local fire department can be some of the most rewarding moments that you ever invest in yourself. At this point, I'm going to stop talking a little bit. We have a number of people here to give you sort of an on-the-ground perspective of what's going on here in the Capital Region. Because while every department in New York, from Long Island to Plattsburgh, from Albany to Buffalo, every department can use more men and women. But while there is a significant challenge, many departments, many counties here in the Capital District are putting a lot of effort and seeing some really great results in attracting new members. So first, if I may, I'd like to have Michael Stanley come up. He's the fire coordinator and deputy director of the Office of Emergency Management in Saratoga County, to talk a little bit about their efforts.
Thank you. Okay, my name is Michael Stanley. I'm the fire coordinator for Saratoga County. And I thank you for the opportunity to speak about a group of people who truly embody the spirit of service, our volunteer firefighters. In communities across Saratoga County, especially in smaller towns and rural areas, volunteer firefighters are often the first line of defense in an emergency. They're our neighbors, our coworkers, our friends, and they step up when it matters most. Whether it's a house fire, a car accident, a flood, or a medical emergency, these individuals drop everything to respond, often putting their own safety on the line to protect others. And they do not do it for the money or the accolades. They do it for the camaraderie of the first responder community. They do it for the challenge and the opportunity for personal growth. They do it to give back to the community they love. But here's the truth. Many volunteer departments are struggling to recruit and retain new members. As the demands on emergency services continue to grow, the number of volunteers is shrinking. The work is tough, the hours can be long, and the training requirements are significant, but the need has never been greater. In 2023, Saratoga County rolled out our Roll With Us campaign, a social media campaign designed to recruit and retain volunteer firefighters countywide. The campaign focused on spreading the word about how important and rewarding the service can be while encouraging people to volunteer with their local fire company. As a part of the campaign, we created a one-stop recruitment page where potential volunteers can sign up to volunteer at any of the 34 departments in Saratoga County. Since the campaign started, we've had nearly 100 submissions to our website from those seeking more information about volunteering. Our campaign is ongoing, and we continue to encourage more people to join, young adults to retirees. Anyone willing to serve should visit our website and submit a form. There are a variety of jobs available, ranging from driver and pump operator to exterior and interior firefighters. So today, let's not only honor the courage and sacrifice of those already serving, let's commit to growing the next generation of volunteer firefighters, because our communities depend on it. If you've ever wondered how you can make a difference, this is it. Visit SaratogaCountyNY.gov/OEM to fill out our recruitment form and roll with us. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Mike actually made a very good point that highlights the uniqueness of the volunteer fire service. There is a job in the volunteer fire service for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're male or female, if you're big or small, if you're young or old. Unlike in a career fire department, where everyone is paid to be a frontline firefighter, everyone in a career department is going to pull a hose or pick up a jaws of life in a vehicle emergency. But in the volunteer fire service, we have kind of two parts. We have the operational side, the people that are actually responding to emergencies. And we have the administrative side that we also need volunteers to help us out with. So we encourage anyone who has the slightest little bit of interest, has some time that they can contribute, and any kind of skill set. If you're a bookkeeper and you've got some time to give, we need to run the fire department like a business. So there are numerous opportunities for everyone in the community to become part of their local volunteer fire service. I'd like to introduce now Jay Wilson. Jay is the director of the Rensselaer County Bureau of Public Safety. Jay's a good friend. Jay has been on the front lines in very different capacities to attack this recruitment and retention issue, but I'd like Jay to come up and talk a little bit about what they're doing across the river.
Thank you, John. Jay Wilson, Director of Public Safety for Rensselaer County. Basically, I'm kind of lucky enough in my county that we have a county executive and a legislature that have supported our initiatives we've had in the county as far as training. Training is one of the hardest things we see in the fire service, the time commitment where we're asking volunteers to be there and train. So we were able to build a state-of-the-art training facility where we can do more efficient live burns. Back in the old day, and I know some older individuals here in the room remember the days where we had to go find furniture in the street and materials to burn to get our live burns in for our firefighters. So now we're able to do more efficient burns. We're able to do a lot more burns, making the firefighters more comfortable with the live fire and understand how fire burns. We do digital fire, so it's a non-threatening digital fire with smoke. We're able to get the firefighters to see and learn their air packs and air consumption better, and then trying to do it on their own and learning that their first fire is an actual live fire. So our training facilities worked out very well for us. Like I said, we're lucky enough to have a facility like that. That's a state-of-the-art facility, and I appreciate everything that they've done and supported us in emergency services. the fire service in all across. It doesn't matter, Rensselaer County, Saratoga County, anywhere in New York State, we struggle with getting volunteers to join. But we need to think outside the box and try to think of different ways to bring the younger people in. My department, where I'm from in Mechanicville, we just recruited a bunch of older members that were, happily a couple of them were Troy firefighter retirees that came back to volunteer for us. So we're getting the older guys to stick around and stay on longer. And we need to have some younger blood that come in the fire service and take us to the next level. So I'm hoping the training aspect that we developed in Rensselaer County will help them step up to the plate and volunteer. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. Organizations like the Firefighters Association, county emergency management departments, we can sort of pique people's interest, but really where the rubber hits the road is at the firehouse door. Okay, we can drive people who have some level of interest to go to their local fire station, but the deal has to be sealed at the local level. So at this point, I'd like to call up a couple of local fire chiefs for them to talk about their efforts, their challenges in getting new members, but also the successes, some of the things that they've done that has helped increase their ranks. If Chief Racine from the Clinton Heights Fire Department would like to come up and make a few remarks.
My name's Chris Racine. I'm the department chief of the Clinton Heights Fire Department, town of East Greenbush. One of the things that we found that helps get our name out is we hired a recruitment firm to assist us with getting our name out and getting information out to the local public. One of the statements that I heard earlier is that basically New York State is comprised of volunteer fire departments. And it's amazing how many people in the state of New York, in New York towns and villages, when you say you're a volunteer fire department, they have no clue that you're a volunteer. They believe you're paid, that you show up, you take care of what you got to take care of, and you go. Once we explain to them we're volunteer, we can provide a lot of different stuff. We assist in training, we help with training, and we go from there. But unfortunately, with the volunteer service, with the recruitment program, there is a cost that goes along with that. So to assist with that cost is that we try to get people and have them come in, do the training and stuff. So there is a cost that goes along with it, unfortunately, but we take care of that. And people that join in the fire service today, state training is free. So we do the state training, talking about the training as Director Wilson was talking about, and we just work on that. We've had some success stories with people joining through our recruitment. We have the same thing as Saratoga County has with a website that you can go to, fill out information, and hopefully if you want to join it, that's clintonheightsfire.com, and check out the website and fill out the form, and please join. There's a job for everybody in the fire service. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. As I mentioned before, and Chief just mentioned now, is that most people in the community don't realize that their local fire department is comprised of volunteers. It almost sounds too simple to be believable, but that we have found that time and time again, that popular culture, people watch Chicago Fire, they watch Backdraft, and they just assume, when they drive by their local fire station year after year, that there's a crew of men and women 24/7 paid to be there. And as I mentioned earlier, over 90% of the fire departments in the state of New York are volunteer. So you can see where having enough members to efficiently and safely respond to the emergencies of that community is critical. FASNY also did a survey last year of 1,000 people around New York State. And in addition to sort of verifying the fact that they didn't know that their local department were comprised of volunteers, 2/3 of those respondents said that they would be interested in going to their local fire station to find out more about how to become a volunteer firefighter. So, things like this press conference are very important. Working with the media is extremely important, simply to get the word out. Getting the word out produces more results than pretty much anything else we can do in terms of driving people to find out what it takes. I'd like to bring another local chief up. Jack Kern is the assistant chief of the Eagle Mounds Fire.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to talk about, number one, the benefits that we have. I happen to be in the Eagle Mills Fire Department as Assistant Chief. This is my 50th year this month, as well as I've moved up to the position, and appointed the position of Emergency Manager, Deputy Emergency Manager. But the benefits with this is the careers that are involved. Out of my station alone, I've seen youngsters come in, sometimes younger than I am, and move on and go through and made a career on emergency services, which is, I think, is totally awesome. We have second to none training from the local, state, and you can go onto the federal National Academy. And it's no charge. We can pay for your career, your training, your footsteps to go. And it all starts with a weekend like this that's coming up. We've had people come into our station, they're like, wow, you know, I think I do want to do this. And we watch them grow and grow and grow and grow. We've got one particular gentleman in my station. He's a 3-year veteran already. He's moved on into a career in the public safety and heading towards law enforcement. We've had people I've known in local stations start off as a junior, and now he's a sergeant in the state police. That's just incredible where this can take you. So to start off with an event like this coming weekend, it's like, wow, you know, this is something. Come down and visit your fire department. As John said earlier, there's a job for every single person, which is just such a need for. Think about it, if someone was to take an executive position within your fire department, it relieves the pressures from officers and other firemen of taking on another duty. So when you have people come in and say, oh, gee, that's all I do, but I do have a degree in accounting, they can run your treasury, and it takes that pressure off from the rest of the guys, and it works out very, very well. I highly support this weekend coming up. Please come out and visit us. Even if it's just enough to say, wow, you know, this is a volunteer station. This is a beautiful place, as they have here in Saratoga County, which is very nice. But please come out and support us, and we appreciate it.
Thanks, Chief. Last but not least, I'd like to bring up our host, Chief Cornell. You can see by the number of people that are here, it's a testament to the efforts and energy that they put in to attracting new members and retaining existing members. I know firsthand, I'm a member of a neighboring department. I've known many of the men and women here for a good long time, as exhibited by the color of my hair. But they work hard to have a positive culture here. They work hard to respect the needs of each individual firefighter. They work hard to integrate, as you can see, people of different ages and backgrounds. And that's what the fire service is all about. Okay, we're a microcosm of the larger community. As I said, we have been facing challenges for a good long time. Some of those are the result of societal changes, people having a lack of time, people having to work more than one job, you know, responsibilities to children and family. But again, I know we keep expounding on this point, the volunteer fire service is unique in that we can fit you into the puzzle in any way that is comfortable for you. We do have a kind of a little secret, because we know once we fit you into that little corner of the puzzle, you're probably going to become addicted, and we're going to drag you deeper and deeper into the middle of that puzzle. It's happened to all of us. So I'd like to have Chief come up now and just say a few words about the efforts that they undertake here. You can see both in the beautiful station and the number of people that are here today, definitely working.
Thank you, sir. All right, so the downside of going last is that they've all stolen most of my thunder. However, they've hit on a lot of topics that I'm going to talk about, and I want to drive home the point here. So obviously, don't let the misconception of the building we have, the vehicles we drive, lead you to think that we're a paid organization, because we're not. We're volunteer. And my wife and I always joke about the fact that a lot of our own neighbors think that I'm a firefighter by career, and I'm not. I'm actually taking the morning off from work. I have to be to a 12:30 meeting after I'm done, and that's just how we operate. So again, social media, our partnership with FASNY is important. our partnership with our fellow chiefs and neighboring departments. Obviously, we're all vying for the same resource pool to try to get folks in our door. Can't stress how important it is to come out this weekend and check out your local fire department, find out when they're having an open house, or just stop by on a regular night. You see a car there, stop by, introduce yourself. That's how we've drawn a lot of folks into our department here at Hillcrest. They either thought about doing it for a long time and just didn't know when the right time was. And some of them, last year we had pretty good success. We had 5 new members last year from the RecruitNY event. And several of them said, I've always wanted to stop and find out more, just didn't know when to do it, and now is the perfect time. So we had them fill out the application then because we wanted to get them while everything was good. And obviously we draw them in, there's a job for everyone. We've talked about it. Interior, exterior. Just last night, the Clifton Park Half Moon EMT was here. We were just talking, and I said, oh, are you a member somewhere? And she goes, no, do I look like a firefighter? I go, actually you do, where do you live? And so there's a misconception as to what a volunteer firefighter looks like. And I go to the schools, we talk to the young kids. Who are firefighters? They're your neighbors, they're doctors, there's lawyers, they're construction workers, they're highway workers, they're everybody in the neighborhood. And therefore we need to get that message out. So we've had good luck last year. Some of the benefits of joining a local volunteer fire department. We didn't talk about specific ones here. New York State tax credit, property tax exemption, pension-like retirement plan, free paid training, flexible time commitments. People ask, what do I have to do? Our requirement's 10% of the calls. We do 300 calls a year. That's 30 calls you need to respond to a year. That's not a lot. But then once they start showing up and seeing what we're all about, they make a lot more than 30 because they know, what it's about, what it takes, and they know they can do it. I work a 7 to 3, 7 to 4 job every day, and every year I make 120 calls a year. And that's just because the timing, sometimes, we get 8 calls during the day and we miss them all. But again, fortunately, I'm lucky to have a lot of retirees, past chiefs, past officers in our department that are around during the day. Some people work from home. I said, that's perfect. I go, if your job will let you respond to calls during the day, I need drivers. I need members to respond during the day. Fortunately, we do rely heavily on mutual aid. So if we don't have enough members, we have mutual aid that we all come together to help each other out. So I guess that's what's important about this weekend. I encourage everybody to come out, check out your local fire department. If you live in the Saratoga County District, especially around Hillcrest, Saturday, 10 to 2, we'll be here serving up hamburgers, hot dogs. It looks like it might rain, but it won't be raining inside. So come on in, learn. If you just want to learn more about a volunteer fire department, what the commitments are, but you live somewhere else, come on in. I'll still talk to you, and I'll lead you in the right direction and provide you the contact of where you can go. So, John, I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Chief. Well, just to close it out, with all due respect to my career brothers and sisters, my son is a career firefighter. The volunteer fire service is the backbone of the emergency response team in most every community in the state of New York. I would encourage anyone who has the slightest interest in what goes on in their local volunteer department or becoming a member to go to RecruitNY, RecruitNY.org. It'll have a list by county of all the departments that are participating in the event and they're going to open their doors either this Saturday, Sunday, or both days. At this point, if you have any questions for any of us? No? Good? Well, then I thank you for coming. I thank all my brothers and sisters from Hillcrest and the other departments. Really appreciate it. And this is the kind of teamwork that not only provides emergency response, but is out there in the community pretty much every weekend at some community event. So again, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, John. Thank you.